Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Today is Friday, it's January 31st. Um, so I hope you had a great week. I'm doing all right. It's a little bit cloudy here in New York. I got a little bit of an upset stomach, but otherwise I'm doing well. I'm going to stay inside today and just take it easy the whole day. So there we are. Um, my previous two videos, were about a documentary. I had requested if Michael Moore could make a documentary about community gang stalking. This video has nothing to do with those two previous videos. Video is directed towards JW young adults. So if you're 18 years old and older, this video is strictly for you. It's primarily for you. All right, so let's get into it. About a week ago on Reddit, an 18-year-old wrote in and asked the XJW community for advice. They are 18 years old and they're seeing a therapist. Those therapist visits are covered by their parents' health insurance, and for this reason, the JW parents feel that this entitles them to sit in on those sessions with this 18-year-old and the therapist. The JW 18-year-old kids told their parents that they want to get their own job, have their own health insurance, and then they can meet with the therapist themselves without the parents. The parents told them, "No, we don't want you to get a job. We're going to continue this same arrangement," right? So this 18-year-old is talking to a therapist with their JW parents in the room, which means they have literally no privacy. It limits greatly what they're able to say to the therapist with their JW parents in the room. The JW 18-year-old reached out to the community and wants to know what should they do about this situation. A lot of the comments that were left and made to that teen, they was they were spot on. I understand where the line of thought is. A lot of the comments were to the teen to try to get this thing straightened out with the parents, right? And if you're wondering why would they tell the teen to do that, it's because a lot of us are cut off from our families. A lot of us are cut off from our JW families, and so when they tell them to try to get this thing straightened out with their parents, the line of thought is, well, we're trying to keep your family intact. We're trying to make it so that you don't lose contact with your parents and your family doesn't end up divided, as many of our families are. So that is the line of thinking. Um, if you, I don't know if anyone saw the post that was made by, that I'm referring to, but if you notice, not too many people said, "Oh, you should report that therapist to the state board," and blah blah blah. The For many XJWs, the priority is not losing touch with the family and not dividing the family. So the advice given is going to lean towards that. You know what I mean? To that is going to lean you know on that decision making process. Is that please do not lose touch. Don't lose your family to this. That being said, and my point of view is this: I don't like to see families broken up either. The thing is that for many teens, young adults, being part of the cult causes mental distress for them. And of the two, whether it comes between staying in the cult and having mental distress or leaving the cult and risk losing your family, I believe that staying in the cult does more harm. I believe that does way more harm. So that's why I'm making this video today. I encourage that 18-year-old to stop seeking their parents' permission. If they want to get a job, you're 18 years old, you no longer need to ask for your parents' permission. And so that's the message of this video. Is if you're 18 years old and older, stop asking. Do not ask your parents. Um, do not seek their consent or permission. If you want to get a job, go get one. Go get one. Don't ask your parents. Go get a job. You want to go to college or trade school? Again, do not ask your parents. Don't seek their permission. Go to trade school, go to college. If you want to start dating some worldly, I hate that word, some non JW person lives down the street from you, again, you're 18 years old or older, you're in a full grown adult, legal adult, you no longer need to ask your parents. Um, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to see a mental health therapist, you're 18 years old and older, again, you don't need your parents' consent. If you want to move out of the house, you don't need their consent. So don't ask. The reason why this is important is because that cult is very controlling. It tries to control every aspect of members' lives, right? As a result, the members, the parents in that cult, can be very controlling as well. And so, as a result, kids feel like they have to get their consent to do everything, even after they've turned 18 years of age and older, where they no longer need consent, right? You're a legal adult. And they still go back to those parents as if they're teens and children and ask for their consent and permission. And what I'm telling you is you need to stop doing that. It's important that you stop doing that. Your parents are fully indoctrinated by a cult. The decisions that they make are going to be based on, I don't want my child to leave this cult. If whatever it is that they're planning to do or seeking to do, it must not result in them leaving the cult. So that is why those two parents are sitting in on the sessions. It's why those two parents told them don't get a job. Anything that may result in that kid, that 18-year-old kid, leaving the cult, they're not going to risk it. So they're going to tell that 18-year-old no. And what I'm saying to you is that because you're 18 years old, you have a legal right as an adult to make your own decisions on those issues. So don't ask your parents. It's not in them to give you the answer you need, which is yes, you have every right to go get a job on your own. It's not in them to give you that kind of an answer, so don't ask it from them. Don't seek that kind of permission. Don't seek consent from them. Just go do what you need to do that results in your own peace of mind. Right? That's what being an adult means. It means you have to think about what you want out of life. You have to think about what do you want for the future, and you have to work towards that. Um, you can and that means you cannot ask your parents. It means you have to answer those questions for yourself and then make decisions based on those factors. And running it past your parents first is not going to work because your parents are going to do what tell you whatever is in the best interest of the cult, whatever keeps you in the cult, that is going to be their answer. Um, again, it being wanting to leave a cult means you're going to have to grow up really fast, and so that's part of it is not to seek their permission, not to seek their consent. I'll use my own situation as an example. When I was 25 years old, I was still living at home with my mom, my brothers. Um, I don't know what exactly. I don't know what I was expecting out of life. Whether to get married, Armageddon. I mean, it felt like I was just sitting there waiting for something to happen, and nothing was happening. And I needed like I didn't feel like I was growing as a person. I just felt like I was just there. Um, so I moved out. I found an apartment. I moved out, and my mom was not thrilled about that decision at all. Um, she felt it was against what the what what the cult would have expected from me. They want me to just go into full time service and all of this, and that wasn't that wasn't in my bag of tricks. I didn't want to. I didn't want to stand by some car or be out in field service all day and all. No, that it just wasn't. It wasn't what I wanted. Um, so my mom was greatly concerned about that. She wanted me to talk to the elders about this decision of mine to move out, right? And anybody who knows, no, right? I didn't want my own mom telling me what to do. So imagine I'm going to go to elders. Are you kidding me? I didn't want. I'm not talking to them. I'm not talking to them. No, this is my decision, and It's my life, and That's it. I don't get to tell them what to do. I don't get to tell them where they can live and not live, and their employment choices, and I don't get control over their life decisions. Why would they have control over mine? So no, I didn't run it past anybody. I wanted to move out. I moved out. Um, and what I'm telling you is that your life is your life, and you have to take ownership of it, and that means you need to make the decisions that um, will be in your best interest. You cannot wait for your parents. You cannot expect that your parents are going to consent to things that they feel will cause you to leave the cult. One thing I want to make clear is again with this cult, even being a member of this cult at 18 years old, you're a full-grown adult. One adult cannot make another adult be a member of a cult. So even if you're 18, you tell your parents, listen, I don't want to go to meetings anymore. I don't want to go out in field service. I don't want to go to assemblies. I don't want to go to district conventions, regional conventions, whatever they called. You understand? You're no longer obligated to do anything, but you don't have to buy. I'm sorry. You do not have to continuously do this thing by their rules, right? So that's what I want you to get comfortable with. It, as much as I want to blame the parents, I have to make it clear it's your thinking, your own thinking, that has to drive this thing now. You have to change the thinking in your mind that you need their approval, that you need their consent because you don't. So this falls on you now. Um, a couple of weeks, no, not a couple of weeks, a couple of months ago, there was this JW kid, right? I shared this photo in the XJW community. It's a kid. Um, and he and his non-JW friends wanted to observe Halloween. Um, of course, the JW kid cannot celebrate Halloween, but those kids didn't want to leave him out of the activity. They wanted to, in some way, you know, celebrate Halloween. So this kid looks like he couldn't. His friends look like they are all young teens. I'm gonna guess 12, 13 years old. Um, those kids all got together. The JW kid had a white shirt on with a red tie, a pair of dress slacks on, and then all the other kids had on black suits with black ties, white shirts, and they their Halloween thing was the kid wearing the red shirt, the red tie, who was the JW kid. He's Donald Trump, the president, and then he's surrounded by all of these Secret Service agents. I'm going to post a link to that photo below, but that it seems like a small thing, but it's important because that kid understands on some level that being a JW may not be in his future. He's real, he understands that on some level he's going to have to step outside the box a little bit. He's going to have to color outside the lines a little bit, and I mean, he did just enough to stay below radar. But I thought that was I mean, between he and his friends, I thought that was very creative. And it's that kind of thinking that's going to serve him well later on in life, at 18, 19 years old, should he decide he wants to leave. And so that's another thing I want to encourage you. If you're below the age of 18, 19, and to take small risks. Don't go out there and do something crazy and not, completely, you know, pushing the envelope over just you're off the edge. You don't want to do that, right? But you want to take small, safe risks. I'll give you another example of another small, safe risk to take. And this one was recent. Is earlier this week. A 14-year-old mentioned that they want to um, share some information about cults with the members of their congregation who happen to mostly be millennials. This 14-year-old is devising a way to reach out to all of them, and she wanted to get some advice on, what to say and how to go about this. And so we were brainstorming with her. But I want to say to that 14-year-old girl that it's very commendable that she's doing this. And again, it's about taking safe risks. And the reason why it's important is because when it's time to leave the cult after you turn 18, 19 years old, should she decide to do that, then because she's already mentally preparing and or mentally taking those small steps out, she's halfway there, right? Same thing with that kid who dressed up as a president for Halloween. He's taking small steps to mentally exit the cult when the time comes, because he's no longer tied to all of these beliefs and all of these restrictions. So that's what I want to encourage you guys to do, to get comfortable with with this, so that by the time you're 18 and you're in a position now where you can make some decisions on your own, that you make them, that you don't go running back to your parents and make sure they're okay with this thing. They may not be, and that's all right too. That's that. All right. So that being said, two things I want to stress to you, because you may or may not be striking out on your own. Your parents may, you tell them your decision that you want to go to college, you want to move out of the house, or whatever it is you want to. In this case, they want to get their own job, and the parents don't want you to do this, right? This is why I've been telling teens you need to have your own social network, non-JW social network in place. Very important. Very important. So that social network should be made up of people your own age as well as adults, whether it's teachers, neighbors, non-JW relatives. You have to have a support team in place. The other thing you need to have in place is an emergency housing plan. So in case your parent says, "Oh, you want to go to college? Well, you need to leave the house. You can't take any of your clothing or belongings with you." You need to have a plan in place. Is there an emergency? Is there like a relative that you could go live with under an emergency situation like that? So that's what I mean. You want to have a plan in place for housing, just in case your parents ask you to leave the house immediately. And again, I cannot stress enough, it happens. It happens to JW teens all the time. They get kicked out of their home for wanting to go to college. So please, 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 if you are a JW teen watching this now, um, again, have those two aspects, those two pieces of the puzzle in place. A network of support, people you can turn to for support, as well as an emergency housing plan. So for that 18-year-old who is in therapy, I'm glad that they are in therapy. I'm sorry that this therapist does not see the error in allowing those parents to stay in the room with you. What I'm hoping for is that you do go out and you do get a job, and I mean, the only thing I mean, from seeing how restrictive your parents are, I do not recommend staying there in the home with them. I do not recommend it at all. You need to get as far away from them as possible, because, frankly, I believe they will do anything and everything to keep you in the cult. Um, and that's just my belief. I don't recommend you staying there. Um, and so if you happen to be watching this, I hope you're taking steps to put some distance between you and your parents. And I would explain to them it's not so much that you don't love them or you don't want to talk to them anymore and blah, blah, blah. It's just that you have your own path to walk through this life. And right now, that path means you need some time away from this cult. And you hope that it, it will not, that won't be, you know, a problem for them. It's not that you don't want to you know what I mean? It's not that you want to cut off contact with them. It's just you need time away from this cult. So, again, if you're watching this, I hope that's the path you take. I hope you try to get um, mental health counseling and services without them present, so that you can talk freely. All right. So that's the video for today. All right. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care. Stay well. Love you guys. Bye.